1979 when Ridley Scott directed Alien, a groundbreaking science fiction film that was actually a horror film, where, instead of a killer, the villain chasing the group of characters is a xenomorph, a perfect alien life form. One of the best films ever made, Alien has since turned into a franchise, with sequels directed by a royalty of directors including James Cameron, David Fincher, and Jean-Pierre Jeunet, inspired books, graphic novels, several video games, and a TV series which is currently in the works. Alien Romulus is directed by Fede Alvarez, known for his horror outcomes with the 2013 Evil Dead Rebirth and the diptych of the original Don't Breathe films. Unlike previous Alien films, where each chapter belongs to a different genre, Romulus is a reimagining of Ridley Scott's original film, following the same narrative structure and atmosphere of horror, which he combines with the action brought to the series by James Cameron. If we accept that retro mood can be counted as a renewal, Romulus is reimagined from scratch with images of the space colony where the new characters, representatives of Gen Z, reside, a dark, dusty and dystopian setting that brings to mind the look of Blade Runner. The characters, wanting to escape a life of slavery, decide to take advantage of an abandoned spaceship sailing near their planet and use it to sail to a better world. What they don't know and will soon discover is that this spaceship is full of xenomorphs from which they will have to survive. From the moment this team is aboard the spaceship, Fede Alvarez confronts the original alien directly through images and stories he brings to the fore, emphasizing abandonment and outdated technology, having as a strong card the emotional bond of the protagonist Rain and the android Andy, whom she treats as her brother, and who is programmed by her dead father to have as his directive the best for her. A key difference that is immediately identified is the change of characters from adult professionals to a group of very young people with enough immaturity that fuels tensions between them, and automatically few skills to deal with the infinite technical problems of the ship and the attacks of the xenomorphs. There is a significant lack of credibility as we watch them successfully move from one deathly situation to the next, but Alvarez compensates well for it by giving his plot the structure of a video game, where the existence of such characters is commonplace. The missions seen in Romulus are divided into suspenseful sections reminiscent of the progressive levels of a game, with opening and closing doors marking the beginning and end of a level. Within these geographical limits, the hero's quests and actions come to life before us as they complete autonomous quests, which are very clear and familiar. Upgrade the android to exit the room, traverse an area full of facehuggers, pull the right levers to release a part of the spaceship. It's the typical practice of looting, where characters have to loot the spaceship to find what they need, and that translates into intense suspense in cinematic terms, masquerading as survival to create the deepest and most enduring nature of horror: fear. One does not need to know in depth the Alien films to understand that the great legacy of these films is the character of Ellen Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver, who since then made us subconsciously agonize for the survival of the random protagonist of a movie. Romulus struggles with tenacity to introduce new characters and sketch powerful nuggets of their tragic past to draw the viewer's empathy. But all the characters pale in comparison to the weight and dynamics that fall on Rain and Andy's relationship. It helps that they are played by two excellent actors, Cailee Spaeny, who last year won major awards for her performance as Priscilla Presley in Sofia Coppola's biography Priscilla, and gave an outstanding performance in Alex Garland's Civil War, while Andy is played by David Jonsson, a British theatre actor who has the most complex and interesting role in the film, that of an android struggling to make the right choice between his two directives. Another element that the film utilizes intensely and successfully is gender dynamics. Alvarez gives a lot of attention to the subject of motherhood, communicating an interesting relationship with the original film with various details. We certainly have the way of fertilization of xenomorphs, which here goes a step further by incorporating the element of body horror, tapping on an idea that was used in Alien Resurrection. We also have a pregnant girl and the name of the space station, which is Renaissance, and its two parts, Romulus and Remus. As far as the special effects are concerned, Alvarez remains faithful to tradition and mainly uses animatronics to bring the xenomorphs to life on screen. The creations are once again very impressive and mainly helps to depict the slime carried by certain stages of the ages of xenomorphs. We see again a very imaginative scene with the chestburster, but also more, able to stay in our subconscious. The element that will surely be the most controversial is the resurrection of a character, spoiler alert in 3, 2, 1, of the android Ash from the original Alien, making use of actor Ian Holm's face and voice to achieve it. CGI is only successful to a certain extent. The biggest problem is that it is not consistent. Ian Holm's form varies slightly from shot to shot, to the extent that you wonder if it is worth putting something so visually incomplete into your film. My counter-argument is that the idea behind the narrative presence of the character is very interesting, and gave me a very strong enthusiasm as a viewer to watch the story. Also, Romulus has too many virtues for the CGI to be at the center of discussion. It is not a discussion that offers anything, it was an idea, it was implemented, it gave a certain result on a visual level, let's move forward. Alvarez has understood what audiences expect to see from an Alien movie and is fully dedicated to honor both those expectations and the franchise itself without pushing the outcome. He's certainly making a film designed for commercial success, and he's doing so by giving new life to a formula that 45 years later seemed exhausted. It doesn't take too much risk in terms of story. What we are witnessing is mainly a reimagining of the original Alien script with elements already known from the entire franchise. But that doesn't stop it, thanks to its innovative execution, to be the third best film of the series.